Hey, what is going on, you guys? It's Epic here and welcome back to a new video on the channel. A brand new Wonderlands trailer has just been released and oh my god, it looks amazing. So this video is going to be us going over some of the key points for those of you who want them pointed out. And yeah, that's about it. Let's get right into it. The first shot I want to point out in the trailer is this one right here of the player going up to a red crystal, smashing it open, and it's actually more of a die, but they smash it open and out comes a bunch of loot. Now, this is something that we haven't seen in the previous trailers to my knowledge. It looks like something which they're just showing off for the first time here, and it looks like a wild kind of breakable chest. I will, however, say that looking at the positioning of it by this lake, it's a weird position to put something which rewards such great loot, so I'm kind of getting the impression that this is more of a side mission thing, but I'm sure we'll find these out in the wild and maybe in endgame content as well. I will say though that I really do like this design for these breakable loot. I really like this. It kind of reminds me of an iridium crystal, but it actually gives you a bunch of stuff that you need. The trailer also shows off some of the classes in Wonderlands, but before we get to that, there is a quick shot of what appears to be the player running through some kind of tomb or dungeon, and I won't spend too long on this because I'm sure this is just from a side mission or maybe a main mission, but what I will say is that I really hope this is the prototype for some kind of endgame content once you beat the main story. It would be really cool to see these dungeons where, I think we've talked about this in the past, you go through them and each time you enter it's a different labyrinth, and it could really make some unique speed runs, some really great challenge runs too. So here's hoping we get something dungeon related, and hopefully it goes off of what we're seeing here with the traps on the floor, and yeah, maybe some corridors that aren't open. You can see in the background where the chest is that there's actually a sealed doorway. Maybe that could open up on one of your runs, I don't know, but hopefully. I mean, this just looks like it'd be really fun to go through. Now, getting into the first of the class previews, we have the Stabbomancer, a class which I think I'll be playing at launch, and it looks extremely fun. This seems to be a mixture of Zero with kind of like Athena mixed in there almost, maybe. It's kind of a stealth character mixed in with almost a rogue assassin, where essentially you can throw out these knives, and we get a shot of them using something called the Ghost Blade, which is where they cast this damage spell and it makes this like spinning blade around the enemy, which I'm guessing was going to be able to hit them numerous times. I can already imagine doing some endgame content, going to the final boss and casting that knife on them to break their shield and then just laying into them. It looks really fun, but what looks more fun is the second ability that we see. This one is called From the Shadows, and it's basically Zero's deception skill, and it allows you to deal more damage to the enemy while you're stealth. It is basically just a carbon copy of Zero, but what's unique about this shot is that once the player hits the enemy from behind, they also freeze. This is something I'm going to explain to you in a later video because it ties into melee weapons and how they work in Wonderlands, but what I'm trying to get across here is that melee in Wonderlands and this Stabbomancer are going to pair great with each other. There's a lot of synergy here, it looks like, and I can definitely see this build being utilized a lot when it comes to endgame. The next one is the appropriately named BRRzerker because it is a cryo class, it seems, but also a like massive hammer wielding smash class. The first ability we see is the Feral Surge, which is this leaping strike. Doesn't seem like this is going to be too handy, especially if you're facing a boss that's just going to deal crazy AoE damage to you if you get too close, but I can definitely see it being useful for various portions of boss fights, maybe for ad control. Now, the other ability we see from the Berserker is the Dreadwind ability, which we went over in our previous Wonderlands video, and this is that AoE spinning attack, again going to be very great for mobbing. Not sure how this is going to do for bossing once again, especially if there's a boss which is really far from you, maybe on a floating platform. But this does look like it's going to be a solid ad clear class. But unfortunately, that's all we get to see for the classes in this video. We know that there's going to be a lot more than 2 of them, so this is just a little snippet, but I wanted to go over it with you guys because this is a really cool trailer and I'm extremely hyped for Wonderlands. Don't forget that if you want to pre-order it, there is a link in the pinned comment or in the description to pre-order it through my affiliate link, which will allow you to get the Knights of Butt Stallion cosmetic pack at launch if you're playing on PC, and it's also a great way to support the channel. Just remember that I do get compensation from 2K when you purchase it. But with that being said, you guys, that's going to do it for this video. We will have another one coming out in the next few days going over the melee in Wonderlands and how that works, because that is a whole nother sticky subject. But thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.